Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at the Jungle Little Cup. Most likely the only time I'm going to take a look at this cup, even though it's fun. It is definitely fun. It's just that the Open Great League is available at the same time, and so yeah, like a lot of people are more going to be interested in the Open Great League, but I still wanted to give it a try at least here for you to also see what is meta, what is not meta, and this team was a lot of fun. I went 10-5 total with this team. And the first few battles I had the wrong moveset on my Ducklet, so you don't really see them. I had still Brave Bird on my Ducklet, which was from the time where Aerial Ace still was able to generate more energy. So nowadays the ideal moveset in my opinion is going to be Bubble Beam as well as Aerial Ace, which gives you the option to debuff the opponent's attack while also having the option to do a little bit of damage, while not taking 10 years to get to the move. We have also Aesop, Pikachu, Libra. There's going to be some other Pokemon that you can use there as well. I would assume that Skorupi is going to work out as well for this team, because Skorupi is going to work out in every position on any team. So yeah, that's that. But you're going to have the main star of the show here, which I did not actually think it would be the case. It's the Cubone. Cubone was ridiculous. It's literally kind of the same thing that the what's called the evolution does in the Open Great League currently. This Pokemon is ridiculous. A Mud Slap needs a nerf kinda, I feel like, just because, no, of course not because of Cubone, but of course because of how strong Marowak currently is and how everybody is playing this one. But yeah, we will see here in today's video on how strong this boy is. Like, this boy is ridiculous. Like, we have so many wins that are literally just on the back of this little tiny boy, and as you're gonna see here, first battle already is one of them. But not every battle is going to go always the way I want to. We're going to have a lot of Steelix here, which was a bit awkward for us to deal with. Steelix definitely in lead especially is going to be a bit tricky. If you see it in the backline, it's going to be a bit better with the Cubone. One thing that I definitely noticed, there was quite a lot of, it's not direct lag, because it's been a consistent issue with the game currently, where if your Pokemon dies and you bring in a new Pokemon, your own Pokemon waits for like a turn. It's also sometimes for the opponent, but look at this. I only get one fast move in here, even though I'm supposed to get two fast moves in. And if it's super effective, Stab, Mud Slap, the difference is quite a bit from that one. And this is of course a bug that's currently happening, but like this happened at least one time also in favor of me as far as I know in those battles. So like it's a both way thing kinda, but still very annoying that this bug is currently existing, because it's not a consistent thing. Like sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. And hopefully they're going to be able to fix it soon. That's all I can say about it. Anyway, you're going to see Psychic Fangs coming through here. Luckily, we saw it with 1 HP, and Bubble Beam is coming in clutch right now, doing some super effective damage instead of resisted damage while dropping the opponent's defense. But sadly, we're going to see here the opponent having a flying type Pokemon in the back. And yes, Cubone has no play against them, and so we're going to be forced to forfeit. Cubone also doesn't have play against them, by the way, if you're going to double move this Pokemon, because the only type of move that Cubone can learn is going to be moves that are ground type. You're going to have, I think, Dig. I forgot the other move, but yeah, you don't have anything else other than ground type moves. I think you have like Sand. No, you have Bulldoze. You have Bulldoze, Dig, as well as the Bone Club. And of course, Bone Club and Mud Slap is basically all that you need for this Pokemon, so you don't need an next charge move for this Pokemon, which makes it also very, very cheap. Like, literally, I could have also used one with reverse IVs. Yeah, I thought I would still survive some Razor Leaf, but I didn't. But that is what it is, because we're going to be able to go for the Bubble Beam here, get the shield, and we still have our Pikachu, which we should have in a very nice position, because I cannot the move go through. That's going to be the Psychic Fangs, and we will see the Flying Press here, either getting the KO or getting the final shield. I will take the final shield. I hope that I can still survive the fast moves, which I can, luckily, and Flying Press is such a strong move. It is going to be able to get the KO here, which of course allows us to align our Ducklet against the opponent's Cottony, and they of course decide to forfeit. If you're capable of reading, you most likely saw as well in the title that we went 5-0 with this team, which I think is going to be the set that's currently starting here right now as well. So yeah, like this team was really, really strong, and again, 10-5 total is really good for a team, and I definitely enjoyed playing this team as well. So like a lot of fun, especially the Cubone was really great, because there are a lot of opportunities for Cubone to get a ton of energy, because the amount of Onix or Steelix or Galarian Stunfisk that I saw on the back line there also ridiculous. And then, yeah, you're gonna see a lot of times Muddy Water on these Stunfisk, but it's not a stab move. It's pretty bad as a move anyway. It's, I think, 35 energy for 35 damage. And then you don't have to use shields either. And all of a sudden you have a Cubone with a nearly two Bone Clubs there, against something like a Skorupi, which still takes neutral damage from it. So like it is not going to be a great answer for it either, especially the Shadow variant. And as you're gonna see, we can get another Bone Club buff, and that was already enough for the opponent. They decide to forfeit. Next up, Cottony in the lead is definitely where we want to face it. Let's see if it's Charm or if it's going to be Razor Leaf. It's going to be Charm, and they swap out into the Steelix. What means that for, that means for us here right now that we can just go into our Cubone, and Cubone can go for the knockout here for sure. Just gonna go straight for the Bone Club. I don't really care too much what the opponent tries to do here, because no matter what, I should be kind of fine. We're gonna get the KO. They're very likely gonna go back into the Charmer, but I might even be able to still reach another Bone Club in time to do a little bit of chip damage, which might put them in either farmland range for the fast move over a long period of time, or puts them into range where Aerial Ace is just going to be able to knock them out anyway. And as you can see here, they swap out into the Onyx, and I'm quite lucky here. Why am I quite lucky? Because the opponent decides to use a shield, which is usually smart because it is a double super effective hit, but it's also a Bubble Beam, which would have not done that crazy amount of damage. And yeah, just generally speaking, Flying Press is going to be the way harder hitting move. And then we're going to be able to just go for an next Flying Press here. Is so lucky for us, because if this would have not happened like this, if the opponent let the move go through, we would have had a little bit of trouble because our fast moves are all resisted. And so now we're going to have the alignment of Ducklet against our against the opponent's Cottony. And as they decide to go for a charge move, it's going to be a Grass Knot, I'm fairly certain we're going to be able to outspeed them, but we will never know because the opponent decides to forfeit before that anyway. There are quite a lot of Skorupi currently in the lead, which is of course lovely with the Duck. I think I'm missing one fast move here against the opponent because of lag again, but that is what it is. We're gonna see the Steelix coming in, and I decide to go ahead and go for a charge move here. I decide to go for the Bubble Beam. This just makes the matchup easier for the Cubone. Here, for example, the fast moves are not bugged while I was swapping out there. I think it's always when like a Pokemon gets KO'd, your next fast move is just like one turn delayed, which is just silly. But as you will see here, the opponent doesn't have that issue. We're going to be able to go for the Bone Club, going to get a ton of damage onto them. We can go for another Bone Club and very likely got either the KO or the shield from the opponent. We'll see. We're going to get the shield, that's fine by me. I'm just going to let the move go through. We can, that's the thing as well, like we can weaken Pokemon and then just farm them down with the Ducklet, which then has access to Bubble Beam here as well in order to debuff the opponent's attack, which is just helpful. And so I really like the combination, and this team in general just works out really well. Of course, Ducklet's main issue is going to be electric type Pokemon. We have a own electric type Pokemon that is very good against them as well, thanks to the Flying Press, and we have one of the best answers, of course, with the Cubone against other electric type Pokemon in the back, making Ducklet a very safe Pokemon to use. Also, again here, Pikachu Libra is coming clutch again with another Flying Press, not knocking out the opponent because they got 2 debuffs I think against us, but putting them into a range where we're going to be able to knock them out with our Ducklet, and so I'm not really too worried. I can even use a shield here. I should be able to win the CMP tie, I think, as well against the opponent, so this is going to be it for that one. And the opponent decides to even forfeit. We can move on to the next opponent. Again, a very solid lead for us, but they swap out into the Moltres, and we're honestly quite lucky because if the opponent would have decided here to go ahead and go for a shield, I would have most likely lost alignment, which is not directly worse, just generally speaking, because we still have Cubone. Like it's not like that the opponent has like a hard answer with a Diggersby. But here's the thing, I'm just going to be able to basically resist every single charge move they want to go for. And so Ducklet is a perfect wall for the charge move that they have. And that is quite nice because, yeah, like I don't really worry too much then about the fast moves either. Like the opponent is not going to be able to get me anywhere with that. And I can just take any kind of Fire Punch. Like Fire Punch is not really doing any damage. They can go for another one. I don't really care too much. And I can leave my shields for my Cubone, which is actually the Pokemon that I need the shields on anyway. And so here I decided to go for the Bubble Beam again. I should have maybe went for the Aerial Ace, would have been safer. But Cubone can farm them down, and in the back is going to be Corviknight. Oh wow, a matchup where we only do resisted damage, but it's not as bad because while it's a flying type Pokemon, we try to go for ground type moves. The steel typing actually still has effect of it, which is usually not the case in Pokemon games because usually ground type moves are just literally, doing no damage at all, 0 damage against any kind of flying type Pokemon. But not in Pokemon Go, where the steel typing still kind of makes it only single, not double resisted, which also means that we can just outspam them, go for the stab Bone Clubs, knock them out, and move on to the next opponent, or in this case, us claiming the 5-0, as you can see there as well with the team on the right side, and we can move on to the next opponent. Skorupi in the lead again is going to be great for us. We're going to see the swap out straight away into the Stunfisk, and from the last time I learned I don't really need Bubble Beam in order to win this matchup because I don't think that 2 Muddy Waters are even enough, and it doesn't even look close at this point. And so I think we're going to be fine just letting the move go through, but I'm also thinking that I'm going to be fine just going for the full farm down here. And this is exactly what they're going to do. We have so much energy, and in comes the Skorupi. I'm just going to go straight for the charge move. I don't actually really care too much what the opponent tries to do here, because we have such a nice advantage, and the opponent just decides to forfeit anyway. Here, this is awkward. Why is it so awkward? We will see it here very, very soon. I'm going to go for the CMP type with a Bubble Beam against the opponent's Purloin. The thing is about Purloin, it has Night Slash. We don't know if it actually got boosted, but what we know is very, very soon that after a Bubble Beam, it's quite unlikely that their fast move is doing more damage than before. So yes, they definitely got the boost. Well, we couldn't even see it here. The double boost from Night Slash straight away, which makes this matchup way more difficult for us than it would have been otherwise. And so we're gonna go for the Aerial Ace, knock them out, and let's see what is coming in next. It is going to be the Swine Up, and at this point this game is kind of over. Because what am I gonna do here against the Swine Up? I can let the move go through, try to go for a Flying Press, but I kind of have to win against a Pokemon that this team needs its lead basically for. Like, we need the Ducklet in order to beat this one, and we kind of got screwed over there a little bit. By the 12.5% chance of boosting with Night Slash. But yeah, it is what it is. We can move on to the next opponent. Skorupi against us, and we're gonna see the swap out into the Stunfisk. This time around I decided to stay in here, just try to drop the opponent's attack a little bit more, and then swap out into our Cubone, just going for the full farm down. And honestly, that works out quite well, because as we will see here, we got even another free first move in, which is going to be great. They go for the Earthquake anyway, and so we can take the hit. But not only this, we can also go ahead and go for some nice neutral damage against the opponent's Skorupi here by going for Sama and Bone Clubs. This is totally fine for us. Like, literally, that's the thing as well. Like, that's why you don't need a second move on this Pokemon. You don't have good coverage moves, and Dig is not going to be a great move, and also the Boulder is not going to help you out on the Cubone. So Cubone is always going to be still strong without even giving it a second charge move. As you will see here, the opponent is going to have the Skorupi, in comes the Vigoroth, and I'm just going to play the safe game here basically by going for the Bubble Beam and just make them a little bit weaker. To be fair, Aerial Ace would have been a great play here, because I would have been able to just fully farm it down with a Pikachu here. But it is what it is. We're going to use a shield against the opponent's Boulders, which is really annoying because they get actually the defense drop. And so that's going to make it a little bit more awkward. I go for the wrong move in terms of what I need to go for, which is the Thunder Punch. But at the end of the day, again, because of the fast pressure that we have, it doesn't really matter what we're going to go for. It's all going to knock them out. And so Thunder Punch is coming through here. That is going to allow us to get the KO against Skorupi. In comes again the Vigoroth. We can go for the full farm down, and this is going to be it. Next one, we're going to have this Steelix, and we're going to swap out straight away into our Pikachu. That is the only way of really doing anything there, because we need to get those Flying Presses off in order to pressure the opponent's shields. And so I decided to use a shield here as well and see if I can get another Flying Press off afterwards. This is going to be interesting. This is going to work out for us quite well, because now Flying Press is going to allow us to get the shield from them, and we try our best here. We will see the swap out from us into the Marowak. They swap out into their Skorupi. I can go ahead and go back into the Ducklet. But it's going to be a bit of a tough game here. We will see the Cross Poison coming through. I haven't seen a Cross Poison buff though. That's at least like something. Cross Poison has actually the same chance as Night Slash to boost. I think they kind of the same move, but like just for different types. So yeah, it would have been definitely possible to boost their own attack by 2 stages with this move. Never happened though, which is really lucky for us. Which is also really lucky is that we see the Cross Poison coming through here, getting a knockout. But we see Fletching in the back, which is definitely not very lucky. Last battle here, we're going to have Skorupi in the lead, Shadow Skorupi. I actually got a Shadow Shiny Skorupi today, which was, I think, my first Shiny from a leader in, I think, like 9 months or something. Like, definitely been quite a bit, and I did a lot of leaders, especially because there were a lot of good Pokemon recently in them. For example, the Zigzagoon I was really trying to get, and I got a lot of good IVs for it. So yeah, I'm kind of sad about this one, but it is what it is. We're going to see the area is coming through against a Hoot Hoot, though. Hoot Hoot is going to have... yeah, some struggles apparently here otherwise, because we're gonna see here now the Nightshade coming through. We can go for the Pikachu, and like, I don't think it really likes this matchup. And we can use a shield here just to be safe. It's going to be very likely the Nightshade, which is a non-step move, but yeah, still better to have some health, especially if the opponent has a Talonflame with Incinerate, where we have to go for some yeah, a bit more annoying strategies there by going just for the Thunder Punch, just trying to get the KO here, but it doesn't work out. The opponent is going to stay strong here, not doing anything, just using the shields, but now they're going to go for a Flame Charge. Now I have to be careful about the energy that the opponent has, because it is important that we manage our energy very, very well. We will see here the Moon Club coming through, getting the opponent staying low. Hoot Hoot is coming back in, but now it depends on what can we do with Pikachu, and we can luckily win the CMP tie, and this is so important because now we can just go ahead, go for the full farm run against the opponent's Talonflame. This is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and we'll see you then. Bye bye.